Welcome to BeerSpiracy podcast. This week we've got...
Vad gör du? Spelar du in podcast igen?
Oh fucking hell, it's my brother.
Can I come and please talk to you guys?
No, you can't fucking... Alright, come and say a few words.
Okay, I will come and do and say some things
Because I wanted to... Hello, I'm Fredrik, and we spoke again in some other podcasts. And I wanted just to say that I think that maybe you should have... Mate, you're not being on our podcasts, okay? But maybe you should have a different opinion, because you guys are very... you guys have the same opinion. Yeah? But we're not having a fucking spastic coming over here talking out of bollocks. Okay, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be mean. Right, don't cry. Fucking hell. No, you're not being on the podcast, mate. No, definitely not. Alright, here comes the podcast.
Leather covered dash. Pull up, make a splash. Many moons have passed. Don't mean to be brash. I'm good, I'm alright. Funny you should ask. Don't care how you been. You seem mighty cursed. Things done changed for most of us. You still seem the same though. We had friends who were close to us. They far out the frame now. Feelings shared in both of us. Felt those many days ago. I let go of most of it. Awkward conversations now. I'm not with the smart.
Fucking look at me. Dressed like a fucking pikey. Got my fucking tats out in a vest. Jesus fucking Christ. But I tell you what, I'm fucking hot. Been for a walk. It's about 50 fucking degrees outside. So who the fuck are you, mug? What'd you say? Yeah, I've had a beer. What the fuck's he got to do with you? You mug. Fucking hell, I'm pissed already. And yes, don't take the fucking piss, guys. I know you're gonna. Got my fucking pikey vest on. But fuck it. I'm hot. You're lucky I'm wearing pants.
Hello.
You had a shave, Joe?
How's it going?
That was an improvement, I gotta say, mate. If you'd have put your fucking glasses on there, no, that would have been blinding.
If it fit around my arse, yeah, I would have done, mate.
Oh, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. You?
Yeah, good, mate. I just joined myself. Just jumped on.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It's not no David yet?
Nah.
Oh, right, so that's just
like
us.
it. Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, sweet, mate, sweet. Tattoo's looking well there, mate. I just see that there.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. I'm dressed like a pikey. Like, I've got my fucking vest on, haven't I? So,
Good.
got
Nice,
my
man.
fucking
Is that the lion and the samurai, isn't it?
yeah, hold on. I'll put the fucking light on so you can see. Bosh! Yeah, there's the fucking samurai.
Yeah, that's the bollocks, mate, that is.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. How much did that cost you, mate?
Oh, cost a bit, mate. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, that's nice.
Fucking
That's
quality,
really
innit?
nice.
I
Yeah.
like the fucking animals in the silhouette underneath.
Yeah, it's just a nice little finishing off touch there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry, I'm just like,
Seriously,
a bit like a pikey today with my fucking vest on, but
Oh, mate, let's only string one. It's all right.
I'm saving that for when I go out. Out. Yeah,
Even
no,
this week,
fucking, I've just, yeah, oh, mate, no, fucking crazy week. Horrible week.
really?
I've hardly been on the fucking chat, haven't I? Like, I keep looking, it's just you and David on the fucking WhatsApps, because I've been.
I know you're busy.
Mate,
I know you're busy. Yeah, I'm sort of. Yeah, I know
yeah,
you're
I've
busy,
been doing like fucking 13-hour fucking days sorting shit out with these
Really?
cunts at work. Yeah, horrible week. Here he is. Fucking had an haircut. Look at him, all trimmed up and nice.
How you doing, fellas?
Hello, mate.
Hey! Cut it off, David.
Yes, sir.
Looking good, brother.
Got my summer haircut going.
Yeah, man.
Mine's all year round. I've got an all year round summer haircut. I love it.
Mine's a fucking. I've just been in the shower. Wait till mine dries out. I'll be like fucking that.
Yeah, I'm like that when I let mine grow out as well.
You know what? I'm fucking so happy to see you boys. I've had such a shit fucking week, and I'm just happy to sit down and have a nice chat with you guys. You know, I was just saying to Joe, I've hardly been on the WhatsApp this week. I've had just a shit cunt week, as they call it, and now I'm just gonna chill out and have a fucking nice chat.
Yeah, mate.
So
I'll feel
the sounds good.
I've already had a couple of beers. That IPA I sent you guys earlier, I didn't realise was 8.3% per bottle.
Really?
So,
Oh shit!
yeah, fuck me. I know, right? I had two of them.
Jesus. Nice.
My missus said, my missus said, "Oh, you'll only need one of them," and I said, "Yeah, I'll let you know after the second one how that works out." Fucking hell. So yeah, but yeah, nice.
Yeah, I feel the same though. Just I feel like now I get to sit down and have a nice chat with my buddies. It's going to be a good time.
Weekend.
Yeah.
So I feel like I say, it's just so nice to actually sit down and just have a couple of beers and fucking like sitting in the pub, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got nothing prepared, boys. Like I said earlier, like I've had such a fucking horrible week. I've had time.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys have got written down, I'm actually gutted. Like I missed a bit last week. I was watching it back, and you guys was talking about Russell Brand, and like David, obviously, is very similar to how I feel, and I would have had some things to say about that.
Yeah.
And I was obviously preoccupied at that time, and I think when I came back, I'd missed it all. But yeah, hopefully I won't get called away tonight because the cat didn't follow us. We've been out for our norm, but let's crack on. I'm raring to go, man. Let's dive.
What are you drinking? Should we do the drinking thing? We forget what's BeerSpiracy.
What are you drinking?
I'm just drinking boring. I'm drinking Whitstable Bay again. I like that, so that's nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. What about you, Russell?
Same as usual, mate. A screwdriver, vodka and orange, loads of ice.
Lovely.
What was that you was drinking earlier? The bitch? Was it the bitch?
I forget what it's called now. It was like something, scary bitch, or I'll send it to you guys, didn't I? Wait,
it looked like a scary bitch on the label.
No, it wasn't Brewdog. It was another. Wait, I'm just podcast. Hold on, let me go on to the. This is how much shit we post. I've got to scroll for it. Oh, mate, I've just seen that fucking thing you post again, Joe, when I was eating my dinner. That crab claw. Jesus, where the fuck?
Oh, man.
Mate, I mean, hold on. What was it called? Mate, what the fuck?
I've got a sick cousin, that's all I can say.
It's called Rate. Yeah. Yeah, but you're the sick fucker for fucking sending it on when I was eating my dinner. Mate, it was called Raging Bitch, and it was an 8.3% IPA. And yeah, it did the job. Very dark and nice, like me.
Nice, man. Nice. What about you,
dark
David?
And moody.
I'm drinking
what you got, mate?
Organic cider.
Organic cider, nice.
That looks like a fucking wine bottle.
Yeah. It's very close to wine, isn't it, cider, really?
Yeah. And
I bought a couple
I
of
bought
cans of the
some.
Magners for tomorrow.
I bought some beers as well that I think you appreciate, Joe. It's from your
Nice.
favourite TV program.
What? Really? I can't think now. You throw
Queer
me off.
wife for the straight guy.
No, it's a
What is it?
it's a TV show you've been mentioning a couple of times.
Oh, okay. I can't fucking think now.
And he sits there drinking like hundreds of them. It's Lone Star from Texas. Do you remember?
All right. No, I don't know.
I can't think of what the TV show is called now.
Lone Star.
Tell us the beer. What beer is it?
It's Lone Star Texas Lager. And in this TV series, that Matthew McConaughey sits and drinks it.
Oh, fucking hell. True Detective, yeah.
Yeah.
True Detective.
Right.
I
Oh,
saw
you got
them.
some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them and I was like, yeah, I'll get some of them.
I can't believe you can actually find stuff like that. That's mad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. We've got this Sisti and Balaget and they got a really good selection.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's excellent. A nice off license. You can actually get some cool shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to find an IPA my brother sent me. It's called Neck Juice. Like proper fucking... It looked like that can you sent me, David, on the IM. Really colourful can. Yeah, and it's called like Neck Grease or Neck Juice or something. It looks really good. Like that's
good.
what I love about IPA. I used to just like... All I was just a Stella. Yeah, Stella. And what I like about IPA is like you got Hobgoblin and all these other stuff.
Do you remember that Instagram video I shot over to you with the
October
guy
Helen.
who looked? No, not that one. There's an Instagram video where it looked like basically a video game character, like really, if you imagine like a pixelated human, and he's standing there, and there's like police officers around him, and it's just a strange scene. And Joe, you think it's, and I think it's fake probably as well, but it's pretty amazing. If it wasn't, I'm 10% it's real, 90% it's fake. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, go on.
And what made me think about it again, because I saw this video like a few weeks ago, and what made me think about it again was I was working in the middle of the week, and this guy came into one of the places where I work, and he just came in the room and stood there and looked me straight in the eyes, and I looked at him, and it was like looking at someone who was not taking, when you look at someone and you see that they're taking in information, they're evaluating the people and everything around them. This guy was just like, he wasn't taking anything in, if you understand what I mean.
Right.
And that, like he wasn't a person.
There's like a game, like a character in a game.
Yeah.
Who's doing his job and just do it.
Yeah, like a real NPC. Just came in and looked at me.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at him in the eyes. And there was just nothing there. And it wasn't like when you can look at someone and they're like just a bit off or odd. It was different than that. It was like strange.
Man, that's
yeah. So that made me think of that video again, and then I started thinking a little bit crazy, but what if this gene therapy is changing people into actual NPCs?
Is an NPC a non-player character?
Yeah, like in a video game, you've got
Yeah, I
these
only- and I only-
non-playable
I only-
characters.
Yeah. I
Just-
only know
just
that from
for-
the second Jumanji movie. Me and my daughter
Yeah.
watched it. They just
The
say
Ryan
shit it's like a automatic thing they say, or not
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Just to make the simulation look more
Seem
real,
real.
They have to have
Yeah.
NPCs, non-playable
Yeah, of course, it's
characters.
Yeah, what's the
Like if
It's
you
like-
were
it's like-
playing in
it's like-
GTA,
it's like
Grand
having-
Theft Auto,
it's like having
there are people just walking
extras in a
around, like-
movie. Yeah.
and then they're just a part of they're an artifact of the game. So then,
Yeah, like
They
an
are-
extra.
like you are playing the game. So, yeah. What do you guys think about that then?
I think Joe's dropped off. Yeah, it's very unusual. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that. I'm aware of what an NPC is. It's very much very much like an extra in a movie, that they're just there in the background to make whatever you're watching seem real. Because if it was just like my eldest daughter loves watching the TV show Friends. I reckon both of you, I know almost certain Joe knows what Friends is, and I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we like Friends.
They just sit in a coffee shop. If it was just the 6 people sitting in a coffee shop, it wouldn't be real without the 50 other people in the background.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
what you're referring to as like an NPC, a non-player character.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever felt like I've been in the presence of one.
Yeah, and that was the
Can't really
first time
comment.
for me as well, where it was like I was looking at what looked like a person, but it didn't feel like a person. And when it's the first thing you experience something like that, you don't really know what to do with it.
I've seen people like that in a pub before, but they've obviously opened up a packet of something, some powder in there. But not. I mean, I know I'm just joking around, but could it be they've dropped something and just fucking been like blank inside? Like, I know I'm just messing, but
maybe
I've seen plenty of blank faces in the pubs in southeast London growing up. I've been one of them a few times.
Could
I've
be.
been an
They look
NPC.
like
I've been an NPC on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
He was dressed in like working clothes. He just came in and like stood in the lobby where you would take where they take customers, and I was doing something at the same time, and then just looked up, and then
Wow.
it
It's a bit like Free Guy, the movie. Have you seen that?
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie actually. I sort of see that with the boys a couple once when they watched it, and I watched it properly. But it's a bit like that, isn't it? Like AI,
because he's an NPC.
Yeah,
that kind of comes to life.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there are actual NPCs in our reality?
I don't know. I believe there's probably. I don't know really. No, I'm not. I don't know. I think more so along the lines of maybe robots. But like you say, like we said before, if you think about things hard enough, maybe they are real. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know nothing no more.
Yeah, the world is so strange.
Yeah, super strange, but interesting. Like I say, but that one you sent me, I don't know. It did look a little bit like I'll knock that up on the iPhone. It looked like a real incident. It looked like a real incident, and so he was burned or something because they was pouring bottles of water on his head, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So I think it was a real person, but it's a bit like, you know, when you see. I thought how interesting and how clever, like I don't know, sort of like graphics can be, but I actually thought that, you know, like when you see a picture of yourself and then there's an app now that can do a drawing of you, like you're in a cartoon sort of thing, you know, and it's so quickly to do. And I thought that it weren't as good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a bit like the one Russell sent me earlier during the week with the guy who got shot in one of the mass shootings in the supermarket, the older security guard. And I found they made far too big a deal out of what he was doing, and then the YouTube was uploaded massively with loads of videos of this guy outside his house creating this free water motor and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, there's more of an agenda there, because if it's allowed on YouTube, it seems a bit far-fetched. And it didn't seem like I know he didn't invent it, someone else invented it before, but some of the comments were like, actually, you need electrons, and you have to charge batteries up in your house. So basically, it's an electric car. And then you think to yourself, well, what are they pushing? They're pushing the electric car. I don't know. I just think I'm always suspicious, always.
Yeah, and you should be, and especially when it gets like hyped by YouTube, then it's more than likely it has an agenda, and it's probably not a real story.
No.
I didn't see that one, so I don't know what that particular one was.
It could well be real. It could well be real, but just being so untrusting, I suppose I just didn't give it. I did look into it slightly, and I just thought, no, it seemed a little bit off. I'm not so sure. Yeah. But like you say, if you look for something on YouTube that we are interested in, you can't find it for love nor money. So
no,
that leads me to believe that it's something a little bit off there.
Yeah, but getting back to NPCs, I'm kind of on the fence as well. I don't really know if there are actual real NPCs or it's just people who are so like
retarded.
Yeah. Basically, but you know, people, some I don't know. I don't want to like be a judge and piece of crap, but some people just seem a bit like NPCs.
They do.
I think what you find, some people just seem so programmed or willing to accept mainstream narrative that they come across as NPCs, like you're a non-player character just because you believe all the bullshit that you're fed. Like I know working class men and women that say Boris Johnson's a nice guy, and it's like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, he's literally been called out for calling working class people plebs. So I mean, this is he calls working class men and women of Britain plebs. He called a £250,000 a year job. He was being paid £250,000 a year to be a fucking newspaper, like he was writing a column. He called that money chicken feed. Oh, it's chicken feed. It's fucking £250,000. He's calling working class people plebs. He says £250,000 is chicken feed. He's obviously like pompous fucking conservatives. And you've got working class men and women going, oh, you're doing such a great fucking job, Boris. Don't listen to what people are saying. It's like, you're either an NPC, like David says, or you're just a fucking idiot. Like, what kind of person sticks up for that kind of person? What kind of person defends that kind of person, you know? You're getting 40% fucking tax on your salary. Do you know what I mean? And you're just being fucking...
Yeah, he's earning £250,000 for nothing.
Yeah, but that's chicken feed to him. £250,000 is chicken feed.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He's got to run his castles, and he's a fucking...
But what I'm just trying to say, like, the people that think like, and I'm like, I do consider them friends, but they are the ones that think of Boris Johnson as like a nice guy. But I kind of consider them as like an NPC, because are they really thinking for themselves? Because
Yeah, so leave him alone. He's doing the best he can for his country, and you're like, you fucking.
It's like, do you know what? When all that shit come out about when he was having the parties and all that, when no one was allowed to go to their own fucking parents' funerals, and he was having parties, and they were going, "Oh, leave him alone." No one was following the rules, and it was like,
Yeah.
I consider it.
Stressful being Boris.
They're the people I consider as NPCs because they clearly can't think for themselves.
No, they can't.
If they to me, they are part of a program, and they follow the program. And it doesn't matter what you say to them, what evidence you show, what dialogue you give. They don't fucking believe it. They are a non-player character because they're just part of a system. And there's millions of them. They all sit on the bus or the train, and they all open up the same fucking newspaper, and they read the newspaper. And when they get to work, they're all going, "Did you read this? Yeah, it said that." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's like these are the NPCs in our world, and it's people like us and Eddie Bravo and Jim Brewer, and I used to like to think Joe Rogan,
and Russell Brand
and Russell Brand, mate, fucking Russell Brand and Sam Tripoli. Do you know what I mean? The people that look at things objectively and say, do you know what? There's something fundamentally wrong with what is going on now. And if you just willingly accept the narrative and what the fuck you're being told, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. These are the NPCs of our world. The people that just blindly accept whatever the fuck they're told.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll say bye to my father-in-law. 2 seconds, lads.
All right. I think with Boris Johnson, I think why working class people like him is because they kind of think he's one of them in a strange way, because he's definitely not.
Slightest.
No, but he's like a boisterous kind of a. I don't know. Maybe they think he's like the uncle you can have a pint with and have a laugh with. But,
Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
Don't you
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that people who like him might think that.
I can see what you're saying.
You know, his father wrote a book on I can't think of a bit of a retard myself. Genetics and all that, like sort of controlling the population, one, and actually weaning out the shit. But when you actually look at Boris Johnson, the amount of shit that it costs to fill a bag, right? Like, what I'm saying is, it's like, you know, when you sort of go, like, he's actually talking about making humans better, for example, but Boris Johnson and his father look like that. And how the fucking dare he say shit about humans and the way they look? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's actually, his father's wrote a book on it about like cutting, you know, about being a purer breed and a better looking, brainier person, but they look like shit. And that's what I've never understood that. Like, how can Boris Johnson
in his mind, he's Brad Pitt. He's the most attractive.
Fuck me, that must be that is a beautiful mind, I suppose.
That's just complete arrogance, and
he's got about 10 kids and all. He's got like a young bird and that. Like, I just don't understand it. I just, like, people like that, you just look at them like Tony Blair, like people like that. You look at them and you go, pure shit of people bred, and they produced a hemorrhoid that looks like you. Do you know what I mean? But there you go.
I saw Tony Blair in Abu Dhabi once, and I was
really. Did you smack him?
Yeah, I wanted to walk up to, like, he looked at me because I was with an older lady who works with me, and I said, "That's fucking Tony Blair." So I'm going to go and chat to him, and she's like, "What are you going to say?" I said, "I'm going to say, nice to meet a war criminal." And she was like, "No, fucking
really?
Don't say that." I was like, "No, I'm just going to go and say, not every day you get to meet a war criminal." But he was surrounded by security, and I was like, no, let me just go and fucking say it. And she's pulling me back, like, what are you doing? Like, remember where
mate,
you are, because free speech isn't free speech where we live. Like, you'll end up in prison. And probably I would have. Like,
wow.
But yeah, he ended up waving at her, and I was like, fucking. I just wanted to go and say,
did you go like this?
no, I couldn't. No,
Yeah.
mate. I tell you what, you get prison and deportation just for doing that where I live.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Oh
isn't it?
man.
Just for that hand signal you just did, prison and deportation. And if anyone even says that you've done it, they don't even need proof. So I'm kind of glad that she stopped me.
Well, Russell, what you could have said, knowing what we know now, you just went, "Love you, Miranda." Man. But what I was saying was, you should have went, like, "Thank you," like, "Cheers, Miranda." That's what you should have said, and he'd have gone, "How's that fucking know that?"
Yeah.
Oh, was that a prostitute or something?
No, he was. That's his name, isn't it? That's his gay name when he used to haunt the toilets of.
Oh.
Yeah, that was, and I told you before on one of the one of the episodes.
No, I remember.
Yeah, and he got nicked, and there's a record of a Linton Charles being nicked, and his name is Tony Linton Charles Blair. So he left that part out, but he was a massive frequenter of public toilets, shall we say? And they made him up into a prime minister because they could control him.
Damn right.
Just hope they don't fucking kill me now.
No.
Just don't go into any public toilets on fucking Wimbledon Common, mate. You'll be all right.
You might get a little glory hole. Little glory hole. My name's Tony. Yeah. Should I say, I was going to say one of my topics was overpopulation hoax.
Yeah, let's get into that. That's an interesting subject.
It's interesting because Joe, please start us off and then I'll comment.
No, go on. No, go on, mate. I was interested in what you're going to say then.
Well, it's clearly not true, is it? I mean, if you take the state of Texas, like, you can fit the entire population of the world into one small corner of Texas. It's like, it's not overpopulation. It's over, I don't even know if this is a word, resourceation. It's about resources. It's about, do we have enough food or water or, heat, gas, electric, petrol? That's what it's about. It's not overpopulation. It's resources.
But that's where they lie. That's what I'm saying. That's where because if you, obviously it's a free app you can get, Google Earth, right? And if you actually believe what Google Earth shows you, right, you will soon see that the farming land we have is abundance. We will never run out of it, and we could all grow food on that land, and we could support all of the humans on the plain, shall we say? And that's what they do. They go, hey.
Sorry, I was going to say, do you know who has bought, like,
Bill Gates?
It's Bill Gates. Bill Gates has bought so much land, like agricultural farming land.
That's surprising.
So Bill, so you got to wonder what's going on there. He's the Vax guy. He now owns farmland. You have the Bushes that own water, which is what they call now blue gold. It used to be black gold, which was oil, but now it's like, well, oil. You can live without oil because you can walk. You know what I mean? You can ride a horse or fucking ride a bike. You can live without oil. You can. It's not an easy life. It's
not nice,
but you can. But you can't live without water. You need to fucking have a drink of water. Every fucking living thing in this world, this plane we live on, needs water. And that's what they're calling now blue gold. And the Bushes own a substantial amount of land in not just North America, but South American countries of natural water reservoirs. And you've got to wonder why. You got to wonder why these billionaires in power are buying agricultural land, farmland, and water supplies.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking fishy, if you ask me.
Exactly that. But that's the thing. I've said it to you before, Russell. I don't believe the statistics on when they say how many people are in the world. Was it 7 billion? I've said it to you before, and I said I don't believe it. And I've said it to my brother before, and he went, "Don't be stupid. That's what it is." So since World War One, we've had an increase of 6 billion people.
So what you have to realise is people migrate to cities. Like if you look at London, yeah, you'd say it's overpopulated. And yeah, you're having to wait.
They're all gathered.
That's what I'm saying. You have to wait 3 or 4 weeks for a doctor's appointment because it's overpopulated. If you move just like down to Paddock Wood, and it's not that far away, Paddock Wood, where my good friend lives, one of my best mates, Ian, it's like GP appointment, tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? It depends where you live. Yeah. It's not about where we live is overpopulated. It's about where you decide to live.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I think that the entire population of Australia is just a fraction over the entire population of New York City. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like Australia is a continent, a fucking huge vast of land. And there's only a few 100,000 more people in Australia than there is in just New York City.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I was watching a video the other day, and the guy was on there, and he said, "Think of how many people in the world has actually got YouTube." And it's right. So, how many people do you think, David, has got YouTube? I bet there's people in tents. There's people in tents and mud huts that have got YouTube.
I would say maybe 3.5 billion.
Yeah, okay.
We've got access to it.
Well, there's only 1 billion accounts, subscriber accounts, right? So that's the same thing again. Probably similar. Who's got a Google account for it or something like that, you know? So, and that's what I thought. I thought to myself, well, how does that work? I would imagine that even I've got an account and Max has got an account. So that's 2 people in a household. So that's 2 people to say, you know, all the people on Earth or whatever. So I reckon at least a third, I'd say, has actually got YouTube. And I think there's only probably about 3 billion people in the world. That's my conclusion.
But you don't need an account to go onto YouTube. It's just a
URL.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's true. But so, most people, but even the people that have actually got an account and create content, have probably got 3 or 4 different accounts. So, you know.
Yeah, maybe. But my 3-year-old watches YouTube on her phone.
Yeah.
But I've not signed her up. It's just a web address, isn't it? You just like
it's just a point. I was just thinking.
I'm not mocking or anything. I'm just saying, like, just like you can't maybe. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to register on YouTube to watch YouTube. Maybe there are 1 billion or 3 billion people with YouTube accounts, but anyone in the world can watch YouTube.
Yeah. But also the fact of, like, I always think to myself, like when I talk about the population and everything else, and I think like we were saying before, the amount of land we got that we can create farmland, right? It's ridiculous how much farmland we can create. But also,
even in the UK.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think to myself, well, I myself are one of 6 children, right? Right. My dad was one of 6 children. My mum was one of 7 children, right? And I've had 2 children, right? My brother has had 2 children, right? And the other 2 have had 3 children each. Yeah. So I was just like, same thing again. It goes up and down. Obviously, we have more people sometimes. We have less people sometimes. But people die, and people obviously replace the generation before them. But I really, some of the stuff I've been watching and everything else, it just sort of made my thoughts a lot more clear. I think it's just complete fabrication. But what do you think, anyway?
I've been thinking, you know, you can never trust really Like how do we know how many people are in China
Exactly.
and India?
Yeah.
They lie about everything. So how can we trust that?
Yeah. The truth is we don't know.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Don't know. And I don't know if India lies about everything, but I know that China lies about everything.
I do think that people are living longer nowadays. Though you got to think like people used to average age of people 200 years ago was like 50. Now people are like 80, 90, 100.
But was that real, Russell? That's the thing. Even like when I look at my census and my family tree, was that real? I don't know. I've got. I don't know if I've said it to you before. But I've got it on my census, right? And they've got birth type, like when they was born, right? And then they've got their death, and they're 108 years old, right? And you're like, well,
okay.
And she said, and she went, oh, I can't find the death certificate. We
Did
can't
you say
find
108 or 180?
108.
Okay.
And that's happened. That's probably happened 3 or 4 times on my family tree, right? That's probably happened 3 or 4 times on my family tree, right? And same thing again. She just goes, I can't find a record. I can't find it. Or if you know a guy was born in 1775, right? Why can't you find when he died? All you've got is he was living in fucking 1888 or whatever the fuck. Do you know what I mean? And it's actually got his age there. The one thing I'd say about these census things, right? So do you know how you got that woman to do your family tree or route? So my mum tried to do that by herself. Yeah. Like when we first got a computer about, I don't know, bloody hell, 15, maybe even 20 years ago. And she was like, I said, how are you doing that, Mum? She was like, I've traced our family all the way back with like European gypsies. And I'm like, how the fuck are you finding all this stuff out? And she went, by the census. So it's literally, she's relying on people being honest. Like you're relying on you're relying on human nature. Like you're literally relying on someone to be honest and writing something down on a piece of paper that then the government then store. And it's like, how the fuck do you even know what's true? Like, you can't. It's impossible. It could be. Tell you what, as much as I love to believe it, but it could be a part of the reset. They all lie.
Yeah, could be.
But what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. We are all told that people in the old days didn't live very long. I don't think they did. I think they lived a lot longer because they never had vaccines. And they knew how to treat their bodies and knew what a good diet meant. A bit like the Japanese. They actually knew what worked and what was good for them, and that's why they lived long. How do we honestly know that our great-great-grandfathers never lived for fucking long time? We don't. And I think that's what we're lied to about. When you say, like, oh, we live a lot longer now, my brother says that same thing to me, and I think to myself, how the fuck do we know? We don't know, do we? And I don't know that I'm right. And I could be wrong and all that, but it's sort of, it does, it's sort of something that sticks in me a little bit. I just think we're lied to, and I think that I think we lived longer back in the day because there wasn't vaccines between, what was it, 1850? Or was it later than that?
Like
Yeah, but 1850 we started getting vaccines, So I think before that, we knew how to live off the land, we knew how to treat our bodies, we knew how to look after ourselves. And I truly believe that we actually did live longer, but they don't tell us that. And when I find things like someone lived to 108 years old, they really probably fucking did. We just don't know that.
I'll give you an example.
Beyond.
Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just going off of that, like I was chatting to my wife even just a couple of days ago about like how things are different. So do you know like the weekly shop? Joe, did your wife or do you go and do a weekly shop at the
Kate does a free week. She does about 3 days a week, mate.
Yeah, but listen, okay, so my wife is from a place where she was like, what the fuck is this weekly shop about? And I was trying to explain like how it used to be when I was growing up. So we didn't have supermarkets, and I think this ties into what you're saying with, like, it's like nowadays you go to Morrison's or a Sainsbury's and you go and do everything in one big shop. But back then you'd have your milk would be delivered in the morning.
Yeah.
Would be dropped off by the milkman. And then if you wanted meat, you'd go to the butcher. If you wanted fruit and veg, you'd go to the greengrocers. And you'd do little bits during the week, but you wouldn't have this big fucking like weekly shop. And I don't know, it's just like I think maybe that supermarket thing is
the plan. Yeah,
I don't know. It's like, but what you're saying is about how people lived for so long back then is because they grew maybe organic vegetables. They had their own. They knew what to do, like potatoes from their own garden.
But yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like there wasn't this supermarket.
Everything was
world.
Organic.
Everything was like, but like even my mum's garden. Like my mum is like 74. She's got a fucking garden in Plumstead, in southeast London, which she's got a fucking lemon tree, and she's got a basil plant. Who fucking does that nowadays? You rely on supermarket. I call it fucking superficial because it's all bullshit. I think people might have lived longer back then. My point is about the supermarket bullshit and my wife saying, what the fuck is this weekly shop? Is because you would grow stuff. Like, okay, the potatoes are ready. Do you know? Like, we can eat potatoes now, or the broccolis are seasonally. It was a different, and now there's no seasonal stuff because if it's out of season in the UK, you fly it in from Australia.
Yeah, or it's the wrong shape. Throw it in the bin.
Joe, do you remember? Like, I don't know if you remember. Like for me, like me and you, I think we're like 9 days apart being born.
Yeah.
I think and I remember my mum and dad saying, "This is our last roast dinner this year because there'll be no more potatoes because there'll only be new potatoes." Do you remember that? And then like there'll only be the new potatoes.
Mum managed to find by the sack.
No, so we'd have like a roast dinner with roast potatoes, and then my mum and dad would say, "That's our last roast dinner until autumn because now we can only get the new potatoes, and they're like the tiny ones you put in salads." And I think that's why people lived longer because it was fresh, it was organic, and it was real.
Yeah, fresh,
and now, if you want strawberries, you can get them fucking all year round. You don't have to wait. It's not season.
No, exactly.
Anymore. They can fly them in from anywhere. I don't know. I just think back then, people lived a more organic life.
They did, but
I think that's what I was saying before about.
I think it's a massive. I think the vaccines have played a massive part since me and you were little, Russell. Like since the late or the early 1900s. I think that's what kills us, and that's what makes us die at a certain age. They've actually made ways of giving us cancer and giving us all these problems. You know, and I think that's what it's all about. I don't think it's anything else, really. I think if we can live healthy and nicely and all that, and we didn't have the vaccines, I think we'd live long. I don't think we will, because we've already had all this shit pumped into us.
I think that stuff like allergies comes from...
It's all correct, yeah, well. I agree, yeah.
And, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
Anyway. You said about vaccines there. My sister-in-law and my auntie both had MS, which is a fucking horrible disease, and it's unheard of in Africa and places like that because the children in Africa are a little bit more wild and they don't have so many vaccines. So it's all shit that they're pumping into us early on. But anyway, the population theory I thought was interesting because like the moon landing, like everything else, if they tell you that there's 7 billion or nearly 8 billion people in this world, you know for a fact it's fucking bullshit.
It's probably not true.
It might, do you know what? It might even be 5 billion or 6 billion. But for them to say it's typically 6 billion and all that, and they love their numbers, I just think it's complete and utter bullshit. and it's just
But you know
another
what?
way of controlling us.
I can believe that there's 7 billion people. What I can't believe is when they're saying we're overpopulated. That's what gets me, is the overpopulation. If there are 7 billion people,
we've still got enough land to feed.
Overpopulated. But if
you know
you
what I
look
think
at
it's about
when you fly into England and you see the countryside and it's all green and empty.
Yeah, empty.
If you were to drive across Texas, I can believe there's 7 billion people, but I can't believe we're overpopulated anywhere near, because you can fit 7 billion people into one corner of Texas. So how can you be overpopulated? I remember my old man telling me when I was just young, he said, if every single human on the earth stood shoulder to shoulder, we could fit on the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight.
That's exactly it.
But we're overpopulated.
Yeah.
When we've got continents. Do you know what I mean? When you've got a vast continents. And don't get me started with Antarctica. Anyway,
I think it's a question of control. It's harder to manage a larger amount of people. So maybe that's why.
It is.
They always have to keep you in some state of fear, like we're overpopulated, there's not enough food. And I'll tell you what, though, it's fucking, they've started something, because fuel prices are getting fucking insane. Even where I live, I've been like, whoa, how much did I just pay for petrol? And they pump it out of the ground over here. It's ridiculous. There's some big agenda going on, man.
But it's not just that. It's like it's that. It's definitely the petrol, but like feeding my family, mate. That's getting fucking stupid. Did you see that one? Did you see? I don't know if it. I think it was Katie actually sent it to me. It was the one who was guy who was on £380 a week, and he said if you work it out and took all his bills out, he owes them money. So, and it's what puts people in debt. What else did you have? What did you have on the list, David?
Well, I've been reading a book which I find absolutely fascinating. It's called The Journey of Souls.
It's very scary.
This is what it looks like.
Okay, great.
And it's about...
Michael Newton, was that?
Yeah, Michael Newton. Have you heard of him?
Right. No, I just see it. I was just trying to catch it.
And what it's about is he has found out a way where he can, and this sounds very hocus pocus, but the way he does it is very I think it's real, and I don't know exactly how he does it, but he's a legitimate doctor, and what he has discovered and how these people have communicated is it can be corroborated. Like they say similar things which they never would if it was just like a person making something up.
Right.
And so he can put people into a trance where they can see what happens when they die. Not when they die in this life, but in previous lives.
Okay.
And so they talk about what, like, they can see themselves in previous incarnations, and then what happens in between the incarnations as well. Oh, nice one, Magnus. And I would recommend anybody who's interested in that stuff to read this book because it's fascinating.
Sounds interesting.
Mm. And,
you brought me to a thing then. I was just trying to remember film title, but I forgot it. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
It sort of goes through different people's lives and previous lives and in between lives in a really cool way. So it's like done in an interview style. So it's the doctor and then the subject, and he kind of gets them to tell him what happens and for them to describe it as best they can. And just to take one example from what I can remember, it's like people, most often they're greeted by loved ones, and when they get there, they're like, "Oh, it's you." So it's like soul groups.
Okay.
And in these groups, they know each other intimately, and they've had loads of lives together.
Really?
Yeah, and they just feel at home there.
Oh, right.
And then they've got like a teacher being soul that's like come further than they have, and then they go through their most previous life and see what they did wrong and what they did right and all that stuff.
Oh, man.
And they describe it in a really intriguing way.
What was his name again? David Newton?
Michael Newton,
Michael
PhD.
Newton.
And it's called Journey of Souls, Case Studies of Life Between Lives.
Wow.
Really interesting stuff.
As an interesting thing, as a side note, I've got memories before I was alive. Have you?
Really? No.
Yeah, I've got loads.
Wow.
Yeah, but I could be a bullshitter. Could be imagination. It could be, I don't know how many different things. I suppose people would listen and go, "Yeah, you're full of shit, mate." But when I was younger, I remember a lot more.
Tell us about them, Joe.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
What
I
kind
don't
of
know if you had them.
Please.
Have you had any?
No.
I've had,
No, so I was looking. I said the other day about dreams when I've been looking into dreams, and the reason you don't die in your dream is because your brain doesn't know what happens after you die. So if you've got memories before you was born, Joe, mate.
I wouldn't say before I was born. I wouldn't say before I was born. I'd just say I've lived before, like I've told you before. People that have known me have always said you're an old soul. Do you know what I mean? So I think it could be a case of that. But yeah, I've got loads of those.
How is it represented for you?
What do you mean, as in my experiences with it? Like,
yeah,
just I've got memories from before I was alive. I remember. I remember.
Can you give some examples, though?
Yeah, I can do. Like I say, it does sound fucking nuts, but
no,
I do think
mate. You're in
this
good
whole
company,
world is nuts, man.
Yeah, I know. It's what I mean. I don't know, really. It's I remember, like, I can remember one of my oldest feelings from probably when I was, I don't know, I reckon I was about 2 or 3 years old, but a memory, as actual a memory. And I remember being a man, walking through a field on a hill, and there's long grass, and the wind is blowing in my face, and I can see a ruin. But there's
there
part
weren't
of the
gold
ruin
coins
still...
there, were there?
No, they weren't this time, no. No. But yeah, there's a thing. I wish there was some gold coins, yeah. So
I'm sorry for interrupting. I just had to say
that was funny because he told that story twice the other week. Sorry.
I know. I'm sorry, please. I do it every fucking time. But yeah, no, it's a specific memory, and I'm walking along a field. I'm walking up a hill. Grass is long. I can see a ruin of a wall on the right, and I can see a wooden structure above it, but it's gone. The building is gone. And I don't know what the building was, if it was somewhere I was actually from or I lived or what, but it's something that's in my psyche. So if I close my eyes, I can get in touch with it any time. Another one is I'm a very old man, and I live in an apartment, actually. It's actually a big apartment sort of thing, a big posh apartment, and there's antiques and stuff like that from top to toe. And there's actually a spiral staircase in the middle of it, and it goes up another level. but it's like an apartment it feels, I don't know, I'd even say like something like New York. And I'm an old man, and I don't know, I like old shit, and that's what I'm saying. How I'm the same now, you know, sort of thing. But I can physically remember myself being an old man, being interested in old things, and I lived in a place. But there's lots more as well. But I think I forgot most of them. But when I was little, I remembered most of them.
That goes back to like when you're little, you're closer to where you come from. So maybe you still had that strong connection where you could actually still remember some stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I've got some more. I'm just trying to think of them now, but I can't. That's the only ones that actually come to mind. But I think you're right. It's I'd love to. Oh, I've actually got another one. My mum was a smoker, and she was hypnotised quite a few times. No, she was hypnotised twice, and I've got a memory of actually being hypnotised myself. Right, but I've never been fucking hypnotised. And it's a memory I've got of an actual place. It's actually on Shooters Hill, Russell. And there was a place there that I went there with my mum and my dad. And my mum was being hypnotised, and my dad went outside, and he was throwing sticks up at the horse chestnut, trying to knock conkers out of the tree. Right, but I've got a memory of I was being hypnotised in a room, and the lady said to me, "Lay down there and do this and do that." Never happened to me. It happened to my mum. And I said to my dad, I went, "Don't you remember that?" And he went, "No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anything like that." So maybe I'm getting some. I think, like we said before, I think that the reincarnation thing, I don't actually think that we're getting past lives of people we was. I think I do think that, but I think that sometimes I think we are just getting the fact of they're our ancestors and we're remembering their memories as well. Yeah,
could be.
I don't know. Like you just reminded me of my little daughter actually, because she comes out with stuff.
Yeah,
I might have said this on previous podcasts, but she comes out with stuff for you, and my wife always looks at me, and I just say to her, "She's been here before. She's been here before."
Yeah.
Like she'll look at me and she'll say, "I'm a mum," and I'll say, "What do you mean?" And she'll be looking after something, and she'll put a teddy up her like t-shirt, you know, like so it's under her like t-shirt, and she says stuff like, "When I eat, the baby eats from my tummy," and I say, "What?" I say, "How do you know that?" And she says, "I don't know, but I know." And my wife looks at me, and I just say, "She's been here before," and I really believe it. And she just keeps calling herself the mum. I'm the mum, and she's 3 years old. Like I've got a 10-year-old daughter that used to play, but never used to refer herself as the mum. And she knows what to do and when to say, and I don't know. It's so strange. And I just always say to my wife, I say, "She's been here before," and she laughs, but I kind of feel like she has.
Yeah.
She says like, she says stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I eat and the baby eats from my tummy. Like, how the fuck does she know that?
Yeah, 3-year-old.
She's 3.
Yeah.
I eat and the baby eats from my tummy. Like, come on. And she keeps calling herself the mum. I'm the mum. And she takes such care of stuff. I honestly think she's been here before. I do.
She has, mate. I think that's the thing. I know. I think it is a, like I say, when you're young, you are open to things. You're open to it. But my younger boy, when he was little, same again, when he started talking, he used to say, "I want to go home." And we go, "We're in our house." "No, I want to go home." And I go, "Finn, we're in our house, mate." And he'd go, "No, but I want to go home, though. I want to go home." Wow. And I'd be like, we'd be like freaking out and shit. We'd be like, "What's he talking?" Same what you just said. You go, "Is he home somewhere else?" Like, before he come here.
Have you seen that documentary? What is this little Scottish guy, this little Scottish boy, and he can remember stuff from his previous life, and he remembers a life where he lived on an island outside of Scotland.
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah,
That one is
I've
a bit
not seen-
freaky.
brilliant.
I've not seen
That's-
that one,
yeah.
but I've seen an Indian boy where he's about 8 years old and he's walked. He remembers everything, and he's like, "This is my shop." Ah, Joe's dropped off again. David, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Because when he drops off, like last time, he can. But yeah, so this Indian boy, like, he was like, "This is my shop. This is where I used to sit. This is where my wife was, my daughters," and he was getting everything exactly right. It was mental, like.
That's crazy.
And it is, and the Indians really do believe in reincarnation, and they don't bury people. What's it called when they burn them? I forget.
Mm.
What's
How are
it
you back,
called?
Joe?
Hey! Sorry, boys. I had a quick look on the internet while you was there. A film to watch. I don't know if you've actually seen it. It's a film called Origins.
Joe, you sent that to me, and I was thinking about it the other day. The lift.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
the little
blinding.
Indian girl in the end with the lift.
Yeah.
When she's scared to get into, or for our American listeners, the elevator.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah,
Did you watch it, Russell? Did you watch it?
Because you sent that to me about 3 years ago, Joe, and it was I put it on with my missus, and she was like, "No, I'm not interested." About halfway through, and I said, "Well, I'm going to watch it because Joe sent it," and I watched it, and it was incredible because.
So what
It was
is it about?
Joe,
It's
explain
about
it.
it's about basically our eyes don't change; they just go on to the next person. So it's almost like a DNA in the eyes, and a guy loses his girlfriend, and the same a child somewhere else has the same eye, and he goes out there trying to prove the fact that there is that reincarnation is real, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic film. Russell, Katie's the same. She was like, "It's a boring film. I don't know why you like it," and it's just so interesting to me.
They do say the eyes are the window to the soul.
I think
so.
Yeah.
So let me expand on what Joe was saying. So it's like the eye is the fingerprint for the person. Okay, so there's no same fingerprint, but this girl was born with the same eye fingerprint as someone before, and it was this person's girlfriend, and the person's girlfriend in the previous life died in an elevator or lift accident. And when he found this girl in India, like fucking 3,000 miles away, so she's a different person, she's a little girl, but she's got the same eye fingerprint, and he was going to take her into a lift, and she was scared of the lift. Like she'd experienced the fear of what she was going to get into. And that's what freaked me out, because the movie was like, did I explain that well, Joe? I kind of fumbled my way through it. But...
Mate, Russell, you are a G, mate. You explained it perfectly. You've done the job.
She experienced her previous life's fear of dying in her present life. Yeah. And it's fucking David, watch it. I think you'd love it.
You would love it. The thing is what you just said then, Russell, as well. It's like, why are we scared of spiders? Why are we scared of water? Why are we scared of fire? It's all because you've had maybe because you've had a life before where something's terrified you and you're remembering shit. David, sorry, mate. What do you think of that anyway?
Yeah, it sounds interesting. And I think that all of us has probably lived hundreds, if not thousands of years or lives, before this. And that thought is so mind-bending. Like we have been in so many other lives before we came into this incarnation. That's crazy.
you
It's
think
just hard
it's
to
like-
even take in.
Do you think it's like before, like I said to you guys before, do you think that we all stay in the same family? Do you think we just move around the world?
I'm not sure. What my question is do you think that you're kind of punished in some kind of way for living your previous life? What's the word for being a cunt? Basically a cunt, but I don't want to say a cunt. But say you're just a cunt, an horrible bastard. Do you think that in your next life, then you're kind of punished for that? Like you're in, like physically or mentally? Like, let's just say you're some horrible bastard, and then the next life you got fucking like Down syndrome, or I don't know, like.
Well, in this
I don't
book,
know,
there's quite a good example of that, where there's a guy who does horrible stuff to a woman, and in the next life, he gets incarnated into a woman who gets the same treatment, basically.
Wow. Okay, that was my question. Like, do you like? Can you? You
It's-
can't just get through it scot free, right? You can't just be a prick and just
No,
live that life.
the point for this, I believe, is to develop into a more into a consciousness that is more developed. So you can't just go around being a cunt and then come back and be a cunt again. If you have a cunt life and you come back, then you have to. You have to work on that. So
can I? What? So what's the end result? What's the end game? What's the like? Yep, you've passed the test. What is it? Where do we end, David? I'm asking you
What's the
personally.
higher level?
the end point, I don't. That's a very hard question. But just to relate back to this book again, the highly developed souls they become the teachers to the newer souls. So there's just like that kind of hierarchy where new souls come in, and then the kind of intermediate souls help the new souls, and the more developed souls help the intermediate souls, and so forth. And I don't know how far that goes, but I would say it just goes back to a place where it is this singularity, where it comes back to the essence of this, of what the universe is.
Wow.
Have you got any memories, previous memories?
Me?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
I just thought of another one while we were just talking there. Just thought of another one up, which is strange because I remember being a little boy, but my shoes are shiny. I've got trousers on. I've got a tank top and a shirt, and I'm playing with another little boy called Timmy in a Victorian house, and we're running around this house and we're playing. And it sounds like fucking crazy, right? But I've got that in my mind. I've got that in my mind as a memory, right? And but my granddad's brother was called Timmy, but my granddad was alive when I was alive. So I don't understand how that happened. But just when you were just saying, I just thought I'd throw another memory in there. Could be complete bullshit or something. Could be a film I've seen and it played in my mind or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm surprised you boys ain't had no memories. Have you not got no memories of anything before you consider your life?
You say that I had a dream years back where I was this young boy living in what I now know to be Stockholm.
Yeah.
And there were buildings that I hadn't seen before. There was like these colourful buildings. And later on, I saw them buildings in real life, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Really? So you did. So
those are them buildings.
So that's how it interprets it to you.
Mm.
So you probably, that's what I'm saying. So you have, I've got a load more memories, but I just can't think of them offhand. But I do think I've definitely been here before, 100%.
I think all of us has probably hundreds of times, which is kind of crazy.
That's why I think I am who I am. Like the reason I like old things is because I was born then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason I like ancient history and ancient coins is because there's an interest there. I don't know. I reckon, yeah. I think there's no soul, but I reckon I'm one of them. I reckon I'm an old one. An old fart.
Yeah, but when Joe was saying about old music, and I feel like an old soul when it comes to music. Like, I was born in 1980, and the music I listen to is like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I'll tell you what, guys, I went to a imitation Pink Floyd concert.
Oh
last
yeah,
night.
shit, man! I've got to ask you about that.
Oh mate, was
it good?
Fucking incredible.
Really,
mate? Yeah, it was so good. I'll send you a couple of videos on the WhatsApp. I took a few. I did a couple of Facebook lives. It was incredible. Like, I love that. I'm from that era. I feel like I'm from. Do you know when you feel like you're from an era, but I don't know. Like, I guess it just feels simpler to be from that place when, I don't know, like the internet, and there's so much stuff that's just corruptible nowadays. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just wish. My favourite movie I'll tell you what, when I was about 13 or 14 years old, I watched a movie called Quadrophenia. Joe, have you seen that movie?
Yeah. Of course,
David?
Yeah.
No, I ain't seen that.
You seen it? Mate, that movie changed my life. It changed my life. And I don't know.
What's it about?
It's about a way of life, and it's about being a young person. I'm not going to say young man, a young person in the mid to late 60s, and you're either a mod or a rocker. And it was like,
explain modern rocker to David because he won't understand.
It's like a mod is like a modern man or a modern woman. You dress in Fred Perry, you'd wear Ben Sherman, or you'd be a rocker. You'd wear leather and ride motorcycles. It changed my life. The movie Quadrophenia, I'm going to send you, David. I'm going to send it to you because I've got your email address. I'm going to send it to you. You can download it.
It's a good one.
I have to watch it.
It's not just a good one, mate. For me, it was a life changer. It changed my life. And I'm not going to lie. Honestly, it just changed my life. It was just the best fucking...
Mate, I liked it. I'm a film buff. I love my movies. I thought it was great, sort of thing, you know? So, yeah, I can only recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a new Swedish series on Netflix called Clark. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Maybe you don't. It's not on in England and
what's it about?
the Middle East. It's about a Swedish bank robber, and it's really good.
Do they have bank robbers?
About Clark Olofsson is his name. And he was he was well known in Sweden and Denmark and Germany. And he was a really he was like a Robin Hood, but in the Swedish 50s. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? It's so funny how you just don't think of Sweden as a bank robber kind of place.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted you guys to watch it, because it gives a a picture of Sweden that maybe you didn't have, and it's because he's like this working class Swedish guy, and he has a very troublesome upbringing, and everything really steers him into a life of criminality. And at the same time, he's got a really entrepreneurial mind. So, and he's really intelligent. So, yeah. And it was, have you heard of the Skarsgård family?
No.
They're an acting family, and it's, you must have heard of the film It. Scary.
What,
film. The clown.
Clown. Yeah, of course I have.
Stephen King.
And,
Stephen King clown.
Yeah. And he's the main character, Billy Skarsgård.
Right, okay.
And he's a brilliant actor. So if you can get hold of that, have a look, see if you like it.
Can you send it to me? Can you send it to me? Just send it to the chat so I can actually, if you can. Because like you say, you don't... I remember going to Sweden, and I remember going to a sort of a shop where like a craft shop almost, like sort of like little village shop. And me and my brother, I don't know if I told you before, but and me and Mark was there, and we see the kids parking their bikes outside, and we can nick them bikes. Yeah. And your dad said, "Fuck off, you little cunts! This ain't plumpstick." Right. And we went in. I told you before. We went in shops, and they just like, you got to leave the money and all that. And we were like, why would you leave any money? You can just take what you want, because it's the right thing to do, you scumbags.
Yeah. And if you want that place to exist, then you have to pay for it. You can't just...
and I get it, but it's so to a place where we're from. Yeah. It was just sort of like, what? So we weren't bad people. We was nice little kids. We wouldn't nick anything or do anything. But and just go to yourself, this place is like paradise, and they trust each other and stuff, and it's quite. And it's like when you say about bank robbers and that. Like I watch a lot of the true crime stuff, but a lot of the Sydney stuff in Australia is very similar to the UK and that sort of thing. And it's it's refreshing when you think about Swedish and the Norwegians and all that kind of stuff. It's actually refreshing that there's still some good people left in the world.
Yeah, but I think that was why he was such a successful bank robber, because Sweden, especially back then, was so trusting, and he could just walk in with a fucking Coke bottle and say, "Hand over the money," and he actually did that. Yeah.
Oh mate, that's quality. Send it to me. I love all that kind of stuff. I enjoy it. Yeah.
It is in Swedish, so you won't have to read it in subtitles, but it's definitely a good watch.
That's
one of the best series I've seen in the latest years, I'd say.
But that's the whole an interesting fact of it all, really. Because a lot of people think if you watch like gangster stuff, you're into gangster and criminality and all that. Like my cousin said, I don't watch anything like that, and I'm like, it's not about that. It's actually I find the personalities really interesting and the way they've gone that way. Like in the UK. In the UK, a lot of the folks, I won't mention who they are, fucking everyone's heard of them a million times. But the reason that they done what they done was because they was a product of their environment. So it's World War II. No one had anything. So they went, do you know what? I'm going to go and get a little bit extra. I'm going to go and rob a washing machine. I'm going to go into that place and nick this, and I'm going to nick that to feed my family. So a lot of people that come out of that time and environment were people that just wanted to get on. They weren't bad people. It was just their environment at that time. And that's how the mafia was
started as well.
Eh?
That's how the mafia was started as well.
Exactly. And
the government was taking too many liberties, and then people got together and said, no, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're going to take control of this now.
The government is the biggest mafia of all of the fucking mafias.
Exactly, mate. Exactly,
definitely.
Yeah. But my dad, Russell, he was a demolition man. So they used to all be into the demolition, all paddies. So they all used to be involved in all the taking down the buildings. And but one of the main things, and what cost loads and loads of money to actually get, was lead. So they all used to go on and nick a load of lead. So they'd go uptown in a van and fucking go on top of a roof in posh parts of London and take all the lead off the roof.
Mate.
And stuff like that, like all to just. But that really was. It wasn't being scumbags. It was like you feed your family.
Mate, I've just had deja vu, big time.
Yeah.
Exactly this conversation, man. This conversation, and
probably
David's
is. It's me and you.
Yeah, but no. David's empty screen with the microphone and that house in the background. I just had deja vu, big time.
Oh,
that's
man.
Weird.
But yeah.
David.
But yeah, it's just a...
Wait. Sorry, mate, I was dying.
David, I just had deja vu, big time. We just had, I've just had this conversation and your empty seat and the house in your window. I just seen it. I've seen it before. I felt like I've seen it before. Maybe last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mental.
No, but it is a special feeling when the deja vu comes over you. It can't just be like, oh, you've seen the same picture twice.
It feels like it. It's actually a feeling.
Such a weird feeling, huh? Deja vu. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Strange.
So go on.
Yeah. Go on.
No, go on. No, I was just saying. No, I was just saying the criminality of stuff. It's all born due to your environment a lot of the time. They're not bad. No one's a bad. None of them. Do you know another personal story that I fucking always say I'm not going to do and stuff like that? But my nan was in the paper once, in the local paper. The police was after her because she was stealing washing machines and fridges and freezers and all that kind of stuff. And she had to dye her hair black to actually disguise herself from the police because they was closing in on her.
She's a character.
Yeah, but she had 7 children.
Why didn't she buy a hat?
Don't know. But what they've done. No, it was a cat. But what they done, what it was she actually well, they was all poor. Obviously, she was born in 1920, and during the war and everything else, just after the war, no one had fuck all. So so what she done, she actually knew another fella, and they used to pretend they lived at an address, like a derelict house that had been bombed or whatever, and they'd have stuff delivered there, and then obviously they would offer the stuff that they would get. So if a washing machine was taken there, they'd obviously slip it away and God knows what. But the reason they obviously the reason she done it was because my granddad, who had a bad heart and he couldn't work and couldn't do anything, he was a bit useless, really, not being horrible, but I've heard he was, and it wasn't due to his capabilities, it was just due to poor health, that she had to go out and get the money. So she had to do what she had to do. She had 7 kids, so she used to go out and fucking pretend to do this and do that, and she used to nick a few quid where she could. And I always thought that was brilliant. I thought that was an honourable amongst thieves, shall we say? But yeah, you know,
and rebellious as well.
Yeah,
I think that is what we like with these stories about gangsters and all that. There's a rebellious nature there, which I think we all have in us, and we kind of know that we are. That the obvious one is the government has infringed upon us in a way that is unacceptable.
And that's why I like I don't know, has he gone?
Yeah.
But it's a bit like, have you ever heard of Freddie Foreman?
Freddie Foreman? No.
Freddie Foreman is a British gangster associated with a craze and all that. And I think they're a pair of fucking weirdos. But you had real gangsters like Freddie Foreman, who was actually a businessman who I respect. And, same again, he's a product of his environment, but he actually always made money, and he always made money for his family, and he loved his kids and all that, and he always fucked the government up. Same thing again. He knew from back in the 1940s or 50s that the government were against him, and he understood what he was doing. So he never felt bad about what he was doing. Why would you feel bad about taking money from the government and from the banks,
Yeah.
So, but he's an interesting. If you ever get a chance, just type in Freddie Foreman on YouTube, and he'll pop up quite a lot. But he's actually comes across as a very well-spoken, nice old man. He's a violent man, could be. It was actually a very nice man. Just live by the sword, die by the sword kind of guy.
Mm. Yeah, sounds interesting. I just wrote it down here. Can check it out.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that film Legend about the Krays?
I did, yeah. I don't like the film. I think it's badly done. But yeah, go on.
Why do you think it's badly done?
I just think it's badly done because of same again. They're trying to highlight the fact that it's a glamorous life and all that kind of stuff, and also the guy. Oh, it's an hard one. Tom Hardy, who plays him, he actually he was actually friends with a lord, and the lord was in with the aristocracy, and there was actually children as paedophiles, should I say?
Mm-hmm.
I fucking don't like going on about this sort of stuff because I always think someone's going to give me a tap or something. But they were paedophiles, and Lord Bloomsbury, is it Bloomsbury? I'm not too sure. And so were the Crow brothers, and they were perpetrators, and they actually got all the children for the government and everything else. And and there's all clues in the film of that actually where they went and the actual buildings they come out of and the numbers, the symbols and the numerology on the pillars when they come out of the buildings are all clues to what was actually going on. But what do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I never knew it. I had suspicions about. Well, what I thought about the Krays was that they were used when they were kids, and that was probably why they got so fucked up, and probably why they done what they did later on with what you were saying. Yeah, I didn't really think of all that stuff when I was watching it. I just thought that it was I think Tom Hardy's a fucking really good actor.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's yeah.
Yeah, I think he done a really good job, and they did a really good job of like portraying that era in England as well. I think. Yeah. So
I think all of that. I think you're right. I think
so. That is what made it a good film for me. But having that background of them being what you just said that just makes it kind of disgusting.
Yeah, I think that's what they were. I think they were purveyors of children.
And that's probably why they were so prominent.
Yeah, and left alone for such a long time, but they got stupid and crazy and had to be shut down. Yeah. And they were both gay.
Both of them?
They don't sort of,
I knew one of them were.
No, they were both gay. It's a known fact now.
Let me chip in. I've been listening. So from what I gather, Ronnie was the psychopath.
Yeah, Ronnie was the gay one.
Yeah, but he was the psychopath, openly gay, will shoot you in your head for no reason. Yeah. What legend says is that Reggie was also open to certain things, but apparently he was disgusted by things that happened, so he would openly murder people that did things to him. So I don't know what I've heard through books and whatever, like Reggie was involved with a man, was satisfied by the man, then murdered the man because he was satisfied. So I don't know. They're a fucked up pair, aren't they? I think they are both.
Yeah, he come out. He came out as gay though. He actually came out as gay in the end.
But yeah,
So-
but Reggie, it's in the archives. Like Reggie,
Yeah.
he fucking murdered a man because he like give him a blowjob or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, don't surprise me because it's his masculinity, isn't it? It's he's gay, but he don't want to be gay.
Yeah, because he made him it's like he made him vulnerable or something. I don't know what the fuck, but yeah.
But I think that they were. Did you not see the scene and all where he says, "I had a young boy, Ronnie"? He goes, "I had a young boy. I bent him up and twisted him in so many fucking ways it's untrue." That's the film.
But at least Ronnie was open about it, you know. Like and Tom Hardy.
No, but he's talking about
Tom Hardy really
a young boy.
Yeah.
That's
oh
and bending him and twisting him and fucking ruining him. Like, and he's talking about, "I had a young lad." It's in the film. And then he comes out of the ad. I'm sure, I can't think of it. I think it's Lord Bloomsbury or something. He's a lord. He's an aristocracy lad.
Yeah.
And he was his best pal. So, and they was all in it together. It's the whole Edward Heath. It's the whole Pizzagate. It's the whole thing together. And they are all in it together.
Mate, I'm not trying to justify it in any way. I'm just trying
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. The Richardson brothers were gangsters. But the reason you don't hear about the Richardsons is because they weren't child fucking nonces in with the government. Maybe more so.
The craze did end up being more of a celebrity than anything else. You know, it was weird. Yeah. I don't know.
What is it? Like, it's exactly the same thing. You go,
just want to know.
I know it means something to you, but what does it actually mean?
Yeah. There was one scientist, or no, not scientist, but maybe a researcher, and he was like, "Oh, it's just water. They're just carrying water." What? It's not carrying water. There's symbology for something more than fucking water.
Of course it is. Yeah. What is the significance of a bag? What could it be? That's the thing.
And then you see
so annoying.
modern day astronauts, and they're carrying a little fucking bag with them as well. So what's that?
Yeah. But like I say, what is so fascinating about? Why would they depict that? Why would they carve that?
It has some significance. Otherwise, they wouldn't carve it.
But what's so annoying is, how the fuck don't we know what it is? Like, you think all the great minds, we still can't work something as such as a simple thing like that. Why can't we work it out?
Yeah. It must have been blocked out in history, like so much else.
I think your one was the best, even years ago. Like, I'm talking years and years ago, and all, and you went, "It's marijuana, it's medicine," or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that holds more water with me than anything else. That was a good, like, you know, and I think even then you was probably quite innocent of what we was all doing and what was going on. And you was like, maybe it's just like, maybe like I say, maybe it's medicine and that, and they're just showing you that you can maybe help yourself and kill yourself and stuff. I don't know.
Or maybe traverse different like mind states and dimensions by taking these different kinds of drugs.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my best guess right now, anyway.
I think it's a good guess, and I think the first guess was really good as well, like when you said it to me before. But the other one I thought I'd mention was Dorian Yates, and I don't know if you watched that video I sent you. When you just said then, like drugs and stuff like that, he does the ayahuasca and all that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was Mr. Olympia 6 times. I think I've sent you the video of him arguing. It shows you that he's a truther. So he's having an interview with a bodybuilding interviewer.
Yeah.
And he talks to him and then he attacks him because he said some anti-Semitic things on an interview once, and he just said, like, you need to go and do your own research and do your own history about World War II and all that kind of stuff. But what you just said then actually led me to that, because he's a man who's done ayahuasca and he's done DMT and all that kind of shit. And he's a real, I'll tell you, if you get into him, he sort of like stays under the radar because he does the weightlifting stuff. But if you actually listen to him and keep an eye on him, he's actually really interesting. But it's also interesting that he was Mr. Olympia 6 times and he never, ever moved to Hollywood or America. And he always said, like, Arnie's doing that. And he said, I'm staying here. He said, I didn't want none of that. And I think the reason he didn't want that is because he really knew what it was. But give him a look, mate. I was just it's another one, which you should send me the stuff you told me tonight. And but Dorian, yes, I did send you the video, and it's the actual video of him being pulled on some of the things he said against certain people and stuff. And I think it's an interesting, uncomfortable watch, but it's really good that he holds his ground, and it's really good. And he's a genuinely good man, I think. Yeah. So yeah, and he's done DMT and ayahuasca, and I think he's got a portal into what is going on, might be.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across the? No, he's gone.
Sorry,
I think
mate, go on. What did you say?
Maybe he's attending to his daughters.
Yeah, breaking up the fight.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, have you ever come across the YouTube channel Slapped Ham?
No. What's it called?
Slapped Ham.
So SLAPTAM.
No, like a slapped, and then ham.
Oh right, no, don't think I have.
No, it's a really interesting YouTube channel where this guy in Australia takes different clips of like paranormal activity, clips of like just strange stuff happening, all of the strange stuff you can imagine, and it's just a really good YouTube channel if you want to look at some weird, scary stuff.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
I think I need a little bit of difference in my life.
Yeah, so have a look at that. He's got loads of stuff where it's like, there's one where it's a woman in an apartment and she's in the living room and she just sees like the lamp start swinging, and in the kitchen she hears pots and pans just flying about, and then she looks towards the kitchen and there's this shadow just peeking out, and then when she screams, it just goes in again, and then she walks into it and turns on the lights and all that, and there's nothing there. Just really weird stuff.
Oh man, can you send me one of them and all, so so I can follow it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man, that's mad. My uncle Vicky see a few things when he was when I was all working away. So he said he was working on a building, and he said he turned quickly and he see a butcher wiping his knife and his hands on his apron, and it wasn't real. And I've got another my brother-in-law. He was working in a council estate, and they locked the door, went upstairs doing the decorating, and they heard something fall down the stairs.
Oh,
and
shit.
And then they went out there, and he went, the fucking hair was on the back of his neck and that, you know. But yeah, some strange things. I know loads of ghost stories. I'll have to sit down and write them down.
Yeah. We can have a special ghost episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Russell's back. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I've been here all along. I'm just so tired, man.
Go back. What's the time? What's the time now? 1 o'clock? 12:30?
12:30, yeah.
Fucking hell. Get a bed, son, if you've had enough.
No, I've just come back. Yeah, the girls, bloody hell, they love to argue, man. Don't know what to do. I wished for boys, but fucking hell, the girls are like
What was that
this.
like?
Jeez. Hey,
What was it like?
what?
You say what you watched for boys? Is that a new program or something?
No, I said sometimes I wish I had boys.
Oh fuck! No, I thought you said
I
for
got-
boy. I thought it's a new program on Amazon. Sorry, mate.
No, fucking hell. I was saying I've got 2 daughters, and I was thinking like they'd be nice to each other. Fucking hell. And then I
Also,
was
have
like saying, just go on.
We was just talking about like weird stuff. I asked Joe if he had come across a YouTube channel called Slapped Ham, and he's got
Okay.
this Australian guy, and he's got these loads of really interesting clips of like ghosts and paranormal stuff going on.
Okay.
So we just got into like talking about ghosts and sightings and stuff.
Okay. Well, okay. So I've never experienced anything with ghosts. My dad has, and I've been in a room when he said a ghost has just left the room, but he used to drink a litre of vodka a day. So anything could have left the room, in my opinion.
Fuck.
Joe's gone. See, look, even Joe's gone. Here
I've
he
got
is.
no-
Back, see?
I've got no battery. Let me go and get me. Oh, sorry, boys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about ghosts and that, to be honest,
But-
mate. I don't know.
If you're interested, have a look at that YouTube channel. He's got loads of really interesting stuff there.
My wife is very interested in that October Hallam person.
Yeah, has she
Yeah,
has she
she's-
booked anything with her?
We did book something, and it was supposed to be today, but I've had such a horrible week
Yeah.
with other work stuff that I won't get into, that we didn't do it. And I started listening to the podcast that you sent us, and she sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like she can tell me when I'm gonna die. She's like quite deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that podcast, she's like, oh yeah, I could tell when my family were gonna die, and maybe they had cancer, but this other one didn't, and they died. And I was like, whoa, do I want to know when I die?
Yeah, when she said that, I was like, yeah, I don't really. That seems a bit.
Mate. So when I've never been interested in knowing my future, because I don't know, is it future or past? My wife is interested in the future. I'm not fussed about my past because I know my past, and I don't really care much.
I think it's more about
future.
optimizing your future.
If she can help me define something, great. I don't know.
Well, are you going to do it together, you and your wife?
No, that's the thing. I'm not interested at all. My wife is, but she wants me to do it.
With her?
I'm like, no. So me with October.
Okay.
And my wife just wants me to sit down and get a prediction about the future. And when I spoke to this October person on chat, she said, oh, I can't tell you your future because any decision you make can define your future. It's like, well, so what are you telling me then? Like my past? I know about my past.
No, but it's more about optimizing your future.
I don't know how though. How does it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm drunk now. I'm really drunk. But how can what she says optimize my future? Like my future's apparently, because she said I can't tell you your future because any decision you make can change your future.
Yeah.
So my decision not to talk to this person can change my future if I decide to talk to her.
Of course.
So what the fuck is what happens? I don't get it. Can you tell me what she told you? I don't want to know details, but can you give me, like, sell it to me. Tell me if you speak to this person. I don't know what to expect. I don't know, mate.
I understand. I understand your. I totally understand your skepticism, mate. I really do. I do. There's a lot of bullshitters out there.
I just don't get it. It's just like I know my past. I know where I am now. If my future is unwritten because it depends on any decision I make, then what future can you tell me? If I can change my mind when I wake up. Do you know what I mean? If I scratch my... Go on.
But it's not about telling your future. It's about fixing problems, if you have any problems.
My wife wants to know the future. I don't think I have any problems.
She can't tell you the future.
That's the problem.
That's not what she does. No one can tell you the future.
Yeah, and that's what she said. She even said, any decision you make, a daily decision, can affect your future. And she was very open and honest about that. But my wife is very, what's going to happen? Where are we going to be in 20 years from now? Like, she wants to know.
I can't do that. You got to pull back a bit,
yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I know
if
my
that's
past,
what you're expecting,
and I know
you're
my
going to
present.
be disappointed.
So can you please expand, David? Please tell me what. I don't want to know what she said, but how did she make you feel? And
well, she kind of saw what I needed to fix, and it's not just like a quick fix. It's a bit more complicated than that. It's just she saw what I needed to, what was troubling me, and gave me some tips on how to fix that. And that's basically
was it right? Was it right though? She knew it.
Yep.
But what if, like, so I don't know, like, for me, I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, the thing is, though,
if you're happy, then it's not.
I'm not happy though. I'm not happy.
You're happy. You're happy with your family and your lot, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm trapped, Joe. You, like, people always think, oh wow. I feel trapped.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trapped. Why? Because I live in the Middle East and I can never leave, because I'm supporting a wife and 2 children, and I earn really good money here. And if I were to leave, I would have nothing. I wouldn't earn the money I earn here. So I'm trapped because I have to stay here. And I'm 5,000 miles away from my family. But if I were to leave this place and go to my family, I would have no money. If I stay here, I have lots of money, but I'm in the Middle East. I'm trapped. That's how I feel. I'm trapped.
My cousin's an IT man, and he worked in not by one of the others, somewhere similar. And he done the same thing, and then he come back. He earned all his money out there, come back, cleaned his mortgage up, and then come back. And he's got 2 girls, and he's got twin girls. So why can't you do that?
Yeah, what? Okay, so you. Yeah, no, it's not that. You say IT, like doctor. What doctor do you go and see? What IT person do you see? You see a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
A doctor could be. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Joe, I've got a fucking pucker job where I live now, and I get paid good money. If I were to go back to the UK now, my salary would be like half. and then add the tax on top. I couldn't live. Like, I'm trapped.
You don't have
Like,
to go
people.
But that is
Surely there's
something
other
that she,
ways,
I believe that she could help you with.
I
Maybe.
feel like I
And-
am
but-
trapped in the Middle East because I have a wife and kids and I earn really good money. But if I were to leave here, I'd have nothing. And so I have to
You
stay
would.
here.
But
But by
your
stay,
skills and
but
that,
by
huh?
no, because by staying here, I have to stay away from my family, and my family is where I need to be. It's weird. I don't know.
But what I'm saying, Russ, man, honestly, man, my brother's the same. It's not. It's like if you want to make a change, make the change. I know you might have to suffer less to get something else, but you might gain more on something else. I don't know, mate. It's just you don't have to come back to the UK. Surely there's another country you could go back to.
I'll tell you what's weird, right? Do you remember David? Like, I think when we first started, and you were so many drawn to places, and you was like, do you remember David? You were saying like we're drawn to things. Like I always feel like I'm. Yeah, but like even now, I feel like I'm like I need to go towards Asia.
Do it.
And I think even no, I will. I'm going to. That's my plan. I'm gonna fucking go to Thailand. Like that's where I see myself.
100%,
yeah. Do you know what I think?
Go on.
I think that you should follow your gut in a way, because I was just thinking, like, I heard someone say on a podcast or whatever, what people regret on, like, before they die is not taking those chances and doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
But that seems to me, Russell, that like you say, like Asia, yeah, I get that. Go and live in Thailand. I completely, 100% would love to do that. That is, I get that. I don't get to do. If I'm honest,
it's not just about the land though. It's like even the women. Like I've always been drawn to Asian women. Like I've married an Asian woman. Even my brother, he married a Korean.
Yeah.
Like,
so why don't you go that way then?
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to say is, like, my surname is Long, and when my old boss is like, "Oh, when I heard your name is Long, I thought you were Chinese, like Long. It's a Chinese name, but without the U, Loung. My name's just an Irish name, Long, like Shane Long. So I mean, it's an Irish name. Yeah, it is, but Long is an Irish name, but it's also a Chinese name. But I've always been drawn to Asia. Like there's a part of me that like I've moved from like Britain to Middle East, but like that brings me close to like Asia, like like East Asia, and I've married a Central Asian woman. And now we both want to live in it. Even my wife's like, I want to live in Thailand. Like, I think that's weird. Don't you think it's weird? Like, I'm drawn to Asia.
I think it's great. And I think
I'm drawn to Asia. My brother's drawn to Asia.
Yeah, but that's maybe, like I say, Russell, take your face away. Your blood might be Chinese. You know what I mean? That's what I said to you before.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm drawn to Asian women. My brother is. I married a Central Asian. My brother married a South Korean. I'm halfway to Asia. I've married my wife, and we both want to move to Thailand. It's like that's where we want to fucking retire.
End up.
It's like, it's nuts.
Why don't you do that then? What is the? Why don't you do it then?
No, we will. I am.
No, I'm saying
that's what I'm saving up for.
Why not? That's what you're saving up for.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's what, mate. But I just find it funny that my brother are both drawn to Asia. Like and our surname Long. It's like it could be Chinese or Irish, and we're Irish, but we're both heading east. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
100%.
That's all I'm trying to say. It's like a coincidence. I don't know. I'm chatting
That's like I
shit.
said to you before. It's all misplacement. So although you look like you do, maybe you're a Chinaman underneath.
I just love Asian women. Oh, mate. I don't know what it is. The Asian, honestly, it's the brown
it
skin.
must be. It must be, mate. It must be. You must be. You're nearly there.
It's like I'm heading home.
Thailand sounds lovely to me as well.
Have you ever been?
No, never. But I'd like to go. I would like to go. That's one place. I'd like to go to Vietnam and all.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I'm being a prick. I think it's my turn this week, though, isn't it, to have a meltdown?
No, fucking hell, man. No, you're not. I think, like I say, I think it's a nice thing to say where you want to go on this thing, isn't it? Like I say, I'll do it every week. Fucking Dave, we will do it. It's nice to understand.
I just feel like I'm heading home. Like I'm on my way home. Like,
there you go.
I don't know.
What it is. That's what I'm saying, Russell. That's what it is to you. Your life is that.
And
Your life isn't. Your life ain't Southeast London, mate. Your life is Asia. That's where you're supposed to be. It's where you're going to be.
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's good.
it is.
It's always nice to think we are souls having experiences. So why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's a lovely place to be. I say again, them sort of places of the world, they're lovely people and all. They're all lovely. That's the thing. Like you go to England or whatever, you go, you're a cunt, you're a cunt, you're a cunt. Go to America, you're a cunt, you're a cunt, you're a cunt. You do find lovely people wherever you go. You go to somewhere like Thailand or like say like Asia and all that, and everyone's really nice. And that's the giveaway. One you like, and you can live, and you can actually live quite cheaply there and all, can't you? I mean, it's not an expensive place to live, is it?
No. And it's the best place as well.
Yeah,
exactly. I just really feel drawn to Asia. I've always had an attraction to Asian women, and so has my brother. That's the thing. Like I was just chatting to Charles.
It's weird how you both
over the corner. My brother married a South Korean woman. I've married a Central Asian woman. I live in the Middle East, which is like the hub between the West and the East. And my wife and me both want to emigrate to Thailand. That's where we want to retire. It's nuts. And do you know what I mean? It's just like I feel drawn to Asia somehow. And I just say my name.
Have you been to Thailand before?
Me, I've been 4 times. I love it. I've been to Phuket, Phi Island, Koh Phangan, Bangkok. I love it. I feel like I just want to be there. I love it.
Nice.
I love that.
They seem kind of decentralized as well in Thailand.
It is, yeah.
That's a good thing.
And they're so nice.
That's your brother, mate, even if it's Russell.
They both worked at the same casino.
Oh, right. Fucking hell.
In London, yeah. Yeah, so... But yeah, I just love the East. I just love going East. I don't know. I just keep going East. The further East, I don't know what it is. The more East I go, the more happier I feel. I don't know what it is.
And that's you, mate. That's what you got to do. You can't do nothing else. You got to do what makes you feel happy. And it seems like you'd say you're there, but if you're not in the place,
I'm nearly there. It'd
be great.
Couple more years.
As long as you've got an internet connection so we can keep doing this.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been a bit of a shit tonight. You two have been having a really good conversation. I've been just...
No, I'm really interested, mate, wherever it goes.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated wherever it goes.
You said some good stuff as well.
Yeah.
What do you like, David? What do you... What's
Sorry?
your? I know it's going off topic a little bit, like the conspiracy stuff. But what do you like? Are you sort of like? Do you like Swedish ladies, English ladies, American ladies? What is it? What are you drawn to more so?
European ladies.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an
I don't know
interest.
What
For
about
me,
you?
what is it for you, Joe? Because for me, an Asian lady,
Right.
yeah. It's just like the colour of the skin, and I won't go into detail, but it's just Asian women to me are just like, I don't know, just fucking the most beautiful women ever. I don't know.
I'm more. Shall I say? Yeah, like I don't know. I'd say but definitely not European. My attraction ain't European. My attraction is darker skin, Mediterranean, Indian.
Me too.
Indian.
I don't know what it
Indian
is.
looking.
It's like that dark.
My missus, exactly. Yeah, my missus is dark skinned, and she's like say her heritage is like I told you before. We go on about a million fucking times.
Yeah, Middle East.
Not these, but like Arab looking, Indian looking. So yeah, that's my cup of tea. I don't know
what it is about it, like just that white. Because I've obviously been with like English girls. I'm an English man.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I don't like pale girls. I don't.
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that though? Like
I don't know. I do sometimes. Sometimes I see and I go, oh, yeah, really nice. But my taste is a darker skinned.
Me too.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah, so, completely different to me.
And I feel more comfortable. Like obviously, I've been with, like, you know, growing up in Southeast London, I've been with like white Southeast London girls, and it's always been like, oh mate, that was like, okay, see you later.
You weren't back. Yeah, you weren't back. Yeah.
No, but just like nothing to do with them, but just like no, that's not what I don't want that. It's like, I don't know, just that darker skinned. Yeah. I can't explain it. Like almost like you just want to get away from. I don't know. I can't even explain.
Do you know what?
No, listen.
I love Finnish women.
Tell me. Go on.
Finnish women.
Really?
Very, very nice. Yeah. I like.
What's so good about them?
Blonde, beautiful.
Yeah, blonde, beautiful. Tight. Very nice. They're kind of. I like that. It goes from like very athletic to also a little bit plump, and I like both of them.
Plump is good though. Don't.
You like all?
Yeah, I love.
You like all women. We all like all women.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with. But there's nothing wrong with plump.
That's why I said European women, and Spanish women, gorgeous.
Oh. Yeah.
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 Italian. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I like as well is when a woman can just be a woman and be free. Like, okay, you've not shaved your arms in a few weeks, so there's a little bit of fuzz. Like, does it matter? It doesn't fucking matter. Honestly, like,
I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give too much away because I've got, as my mates all know, but it's so. Do you know what really fucking annoys me with geezers and that? Like, and listen, don't get me wrong, my missus is cleanly shaven, but I like a hairy lady, right? And I don't give a shit. I really, right? I'm fed up. And all my mates go, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You're not a geezer. I like an hairy fanny, and I don't give a fuck. That's what like, when I was a youngster, that's what I was into. And but I like them how they are. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, go on, what?
Yeah, but it's natural, isn't it?
No. What I'm saying is, I agree, Joe. Like,
that's what they look like. What? Like, I talk to my mate, and he goes to me, "Oh, they're disgusting," and I'm like, "Mate, you don't know your bong, you fucking retard." It's like that's what they look like, and that's what you should be in love with.
And that same person who's saying she's disgusting has got a fucking big hairy arsehole, hairy
Yeah.
legs,
Yeah.
fucking probably hairs on his tongue.
He's
Do you know
got
what I
his
mean?
mouth, and his mouth is about a centimetre away from sucking a corn.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But the thing is, there's a beautiful fucking woman who, God forbid, hasn't fucking got a razor in a month or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, fuck them.
I like
Because-
them wild. Sorry.
Mate, no, all I'm saying is shaved, unshaved, it doesn't matter.
I'll kiss it.
They're a fucking, they are, honestly, no, I'm just saying, they're a beautiful fucking specimen. They are beautiful.
That's it.
I love,
Yeah, they are. They are, and they should be.
they're just
They
fucking,
should be considered beautiful.
they are. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And that's what it is. And I've been waiting 6 weeks for some rumpy pumpy. And tonight is the night.
6 weeks.
I'm keeping this in the podcast, by the way.
I don't care. I've been waiting 6
I can't
weeks,
even
Joe,
wait that long.
because, mate, I'll tell you why. Because my youngest daughter has decided that bedtime is 2 o'clock in the morning. And,
Oh, my
and I'm
God.
like, okay. Yeah, but we're like, okay, it's summer holidays. It doesn't matter, it's summer holidays. But that means no rumpy pumpy until like fucking 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's now 1 o'clock in the morning over here where I am. So I've got 3 hours and I'm going to fucking
Mate.
get some.
Don't drink no more then.
That's what's keeping me awake though. And I've run out. It's all good.
But that's the thing,
Oh, I
mate.
don't
Yeah,
know.
it's so nice. But it's just I was gonna say, it's funny how we like what we like though. Like you say, you like the Asian women. I like the
I love them, man. Like,
Yeah.
oh, mate.
David likes the European women. I like the Asian women. I wouldn't say I like so much Chinese, but I like the Indian sort of looking women or Greek. That sort of.
I'll tell you what, Joe, the only problem, if you sleep with a Chinese woman,
Yeah.
after about an hour, you want to sleep with another one.
Really?
'Cause well, you're never quite full after a Chinese, are you?
Mate, I just
I'm
think the people that listen to this must go,
I'm
you fucking animal.
I'm glad you found that funny, because in Britain, when you eat a Chinese meal, after about an hour, you're like, I'm hungry again.
I just
Sorry,
love.
David.
I love the fact that whoever's listening to us knows David likes European birds, Russell likes Chinese birds, Joe likes
No,
Indian
Asian.
birds with hairy fannies. Quality. Oh,
And that's good for me as well because I'm single. So all of the European women in the world, I'm here.
Crack on.
oh mate.
If you could, 080. What's
Oh,
the
man.
number, Dave?
My number out. You can follow me at BeerSpiracy Dave on Instagram and send me a message if you want to.
A titty pic.
Yes,
Mate.
very
and
much so.
and a hairy beaver photo.
Wouldn't that be
Only
nice?
hairy beavers.
Hairy beaver photo selection where you could actually have a website where you could actually put them. That'd be nice.
I've got to say,
What, you
I
don't think
just
that
prefer
exists?
Yeah.
Sorry, Russell, what are you saying?
I was going to say, I prefer it to be smooth. Mine's the smooth one. I like the,
That's right. We
Yeah,
all
I
like what we
that
love.
too.
because like I've tried to grow a moustache and I find there's a bit of friction when there's. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes we start a fire in the living room. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a fire going. Like, I'm just trying to.
Do you know,
I'm just trying to do my thing, and all of a sudden, it's like Wilson. I'm like Castaway, that Tom Hanks movie. I'm like, fucking fire! I've made fire, and it's just my moustache because she ain't under shave down there, you know.
Oh, my.
Boss, I'm driving like a fudge, running into night and night bus stop. I'm making an entrance, trust drop drive on a Saturday night. I'm ready to start and I'm calling the shots in. I gotta just some muscle, I gotta just some muscle, I gotta run the show, cause na 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 na. Bus, I'm driving like a fudge, running into night and night bus stop. I'm making an entrance, stop, drop, drive on a Saturday night. I'm ready to start and I'm calling the shots in. I gotta just some muscle, I gotta just some muscle, I gotta run the show, cause na 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 na. Boss, come bring it like a boss, behave it like a boss, yeah. Complain it like a boss, just as long as you're the boss. Keep on thinking like a boss, so don't you miss this bus. Believe it, you're the boss. I gotta just some muscle, I gotta just some muscle, I gotta run this show, cause na 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 na. Bus, I'm driving like a fudge, running into night and night bus stop. I'm making an entrance, trust drop drive on a Saturday night. I'm ready to start and I'm calling the shots in. I gotta just some muscle, I gotta just some muscle, I gotta run this show, cause na 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 na. I gotta just some muscle, I gotta just some muscle, I gotta run this show, cause na 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 na. Boss, come bring it like a boss, behave it like a boss, yeah. Complain it like a